U.S. Senator from the great state of Indiana, our friend Jim Banks, joins us. Got a lot to get into, Senator, but I got a little pissed off the other day, and I'll tell you why. You know, Angel Reese, Chicago Sky, and the WNBA, this is about the third time they've made allegations about the crowds at Gainbridge being racist relative to Caitlin Clark. And every time it's unsubstantiated, I feel, and I saw you tweet this, I think Angel Reese should be reprimanded. I think the Chicago Sky and the WNBA and Reese should apologize to the citizens of Indiana because this is bullshit once again, Jim.
I completely agree, Dan. I mean, she accused the Indiana Fever fan base of being racist. They investigated it. They said those accusations were false. The least that she could do is apologize to our great state and the fans that show up at these games and say, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Obviously, she's not going to do that. But also, Dan, why isn't the Indiana Fever apologizing to their own fan base for putting them through that, for going through those types of accusations? I mean, those are awful accusations. They weren't true. The fans weren't shouting racial slurs toward Angel Reese or opposing players. I mean, where is Caitlin Clark? Where is the Indiana Fever? Where is the WNBA saying that investigation there shouldn't have been an investigation? The allegations were false. Where's the apology? It hasn't happened. It's disappointing. As someone who is, you know, my daughters are fans of the team. They've gone to games to see Caitlin Clark. It's so demeaning to our state and to the fan base to go through something like that. The least they can do is apologize to the fans.
You know, I didn't even bring up the Fever, and I should have. I've talked to two friends of mine that were sitting in that area, and they're like, Dan, we probably spend 25 to 35, whatever grand a year, not only on tickets, but gear and food and all the kind of stuff. And the Fever threw their own fans under the bus by not apologizing, by not being critical of the WNBA, the Sky and Reese. They basically said the same garbage that everybody. You make a great point with that, Jim.
Yeah, I get that. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever are the best gift that the WNBA has ever had. I mean, and the fans that show up and pack that place. I mean, sell out crowds every time Caitlin Clark plays. It's so great for Indiana, but it's good for the WNBA. But how dare you accuse our fans, the Hoosiers that show up at these games, being racist when they're not? I mean, that was an opposing player who hates Caitlin Clark. Frankly, it's a great rivalry for the teams and for the sport. But don't accuse our fans of being racist. I mean, that's the kind of garbage that gets thrown around all the time. It wasn't true. The investigation proved it. And there was no outcome of it. There was no apology. Apologize to the fans. I mean, that's a simple thing to do. And I wish the team would have been more emphatic about that. Stand up, stick up for your fan base. I mean, that's who's keeping you alive. So maybe they'll still do that. I don't know. I mean, I tweeted that Angel Reese should apologize, and my tweet got a lot of reactions. But I'm not going to hold my breath that that'll happen.
No, I'm not either. I think basically what they wanted to do is go away, and we don't until the next time Reese comes in and gets her ass beat like they did by 35. Until that next time, and then this is the third time at least. They always reference Indiana fans, Caitlin Clark fans, and you know this. Hell, you fought in wars. You got to stand up to bullies at some point to stop the nonsense.
Yeah, I mean it's the same thing with. I mean this is the. Yeah, these are the same people that John Mellencamp last week cried tears in his Cheerios about Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee gets up and fires up the fans. You know, he gets Indianapolis excited about the Pacers. Get the fans on their up on their feet, cheering for the Pacers and fired up for the game. And then you got John Mellencamp apologizing to New Yorkers and the elites and Hollywood and all the famous people for the fans in Indiana. And that kind of stuff, Dan, I know that pisses you off too, but that kind of stuff pisses me off. And I saw Pat McAfee was at Game 6, but he was in a suite. He wasn't on the floor firing up the fans again. I hope the Pacers don't put him don't keep him up in a suite for the finals games in Indianapolis. That's the kind of energy that we are known for in Indiana for our basketball fans. And how dare John Mellencamp apologize to elites in New York City for the good people of Indiana? Those are my people. Those are my constituents that sent me to the United States Senate. And my constituents are fired up for the Indiana Pacers. They're fired up for Caitlin Clark. They're fired up for all the good things going on in Indiana. And I will, Dan, just like you, Dan, I will never apologize for the good people of Indiana. And how dare some of these people think that that's okay to try to appease the elites and in Hollywood and New York City to apologize for our great state. It's the same thing with the WNBA and the Fever and the fans of Caitlin Clark who were wrongly accused. We should never apologize for our people.
Never. And I don't want to hear Mellencamp saying I speak for most of Indiana. You don't speak for jack squat. He doesn't stand up for the anthem at Colts games. He can, as I said, suck it. That's how I feel about it.
John Mellencamp is the same kind of guy, just like Bruce Springsteen, that goes and plays concerts around the world and apologizes for America. You know, I mean, how dare these people put these people on a ballot? They put John Mellencamp on the ballot in Indiana. The guy wouldn't get 15% of the vote. I mean, he doesn't represent the values of our great state. How dare he apologize to the elites in New York for the fans in Indiana being excited about the Pacers and Pat McAfee? I thought Pat McAfee's response was so good. I mean, that's the kind of guy that I want representing my state, is a guy like Pat McAfee, who's proud to be a Hoosier, who's proud of the fans in the building, who knows what our state's all about, and gets them on their feet and excited to be there and cheer in for our team. That's, to me, Dan, that's Indiana. That is the Hoosier way. So thank God we have McAfee making up for Mellencamp apologizing for our state. I mean, it's just insane to me.
I read that and I thought, you got to be kidding me. I do want to get into something. Student visas, a lot of hate, a lot of anti-Semitic hate on college campuses. You and I were talking off air, Indiana University, which has always been a cesspool of liberalism and nonsense. Governor Braun said to hell with a couple of these. Let's get them out. Let's get new voices, including our friend Sage Steele, conservative voices in. But given all the hate and rhetoric we've seen on college campuses, is that one of the reasons Indiana did that, to get rid of that kind of stuff? And our student visas, you support that, getting rid of student visas to people not coming in?
Yeah, I've introduced bills to do that. Take student visas away from foreign students who come to our American campuses and protest against whether it's anti-Semitism against Jewish students or anti-American hate towards our country. It is a privilege for these students to come to the United States of America, to go to one of our universities, especially our alma mater, Indiana University, get a good education. And for those foreign students to come and spew not just anti-Israel hate, but anti-Semitism, making the campus unsafe for Jewish students. We should totally take away all of those student visas for those types of students. I think what Governor Braun did this week was a huge win for Indiana University to get rid of some of these trustees who welcome that left-wing cesspool that IU has become over the years. And Sage Steele, who's an anti-woke warrior. I mean, she went to Indiana University. She spoke at the graduation a few years ago. She was canceled by the elites and the left because she had a common sense mindset about all of the woke stuff and all of the COVID crap and the lockdowns. I mean, I don't know her full story, but the left really went after her. She's exactly the type of person with a backbone that I want on the board of trustees at Indiana University. You know, Purdue went through this years ago. That when Mitch Daniels was the president of Purdue, I mean, he took on the faculty and took on the left wing, what left wing of mess there was at Purdue, cleaned it up, and Purdue is now known as an elite university because They put the students first. They give a good education. It's not woke. They clamp down on the some of the anti-Semitic stuff early on, and you didn't see that become a pattern of behavior. At IU, you had them taking over the encampments and a lot of that kind of stuff. So what Governor Braun did this week, and Jim Bopp is a very conservative lawyer he bleeds IU. He loves IU, and now he's on the board of trustees, going to bring common sense to that board, and I think what Governor Braun did is going to be really, really good for IU, but for the state of Indiana.
I can't let you go without talking about America's douchebag, and he may be a friend of yours. I hope he's not. James Briggs of the Indy Star. James Briggs said that you would allow Donald Trump to do any crime he wanted. What a bunch of crap. Like, what? Just that's the media in this day and age. That's our freaking Indy Star, James Briggs, Doyle, all these douchebags.
Yeah, the Indy Star used to be one of the great newspapers in our country. It's not anymore because of guys like this. I mean, I've never met this guy. I don't know him. Obviously, he's a left-wing activist. He's not what Dan. I don't consider that to be the media. I don't consider him to be. He writes editorials. And one thing I've learned in my
That's right.
Not 9 years now, and going on 9 years in Washington, eight years in the House, is when these left-wing newspapers are going after me, Dan, that's a sign that I'm on the side of the people. That's what Indiana sent me to Washington, D.C. to fight for them and their values. And when Briggs and these left-wing ideologues are attacking me on the editorial page of the Indianapolis Star, it's probably a good sign for me. It's why I won this last election last year by more than any candidate for the Senate in Indiana has ever won before. It's probably because I'm on the opposite side of Briggs and the Indianapolis Star editorial page.
Yeah, I've read that. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, I get it. You don't like the guy. Shut the fuck. I mean, excuse me. Just go away. Like, I used to tell my kids, you're mad at me? Good. Go stand in a corner and go be mad at me. Like, I read that and I had to get a laugh out of it. Hey, appreciate you always. Thanks for coming on. And you brought it, man. You brought the goods today, Senator. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Anytime. Thank you.